Hello, welcome everybody to WeWednesday with As You Are. Today we will have Teenasai, who is a singer, songwriter, and also a TEDx speaker. So let me just see if they're online. Just a moment. Wonderful. Welcome everybody joining in. Just give us a minute. We'll see if we can add the guest. Okay. Let's just give it a couple of minutes. Let them come online. Hello everybody joining in. It's 7. I'll just wait for a few minutes. I see that they're online.
Hello.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yep, all good. Welcome to As You Are, We
Thank you so
Wednesdays.
much. Thank you.
How are you? How was your day?
I'm good. How are you? How are you doing? I just had lunch, so I'm a bit like full, I guess.
Okay, good. It's evening here. So kind of like end of the day winding down.
Nice.
Congratulations on the announcement. I just happened to
Oh,
read the post sometime back.
thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, so before we go ahead, I'd like to ask you, what are you performing? So, viewers know what they're expecting.
Oh, I
What
was
do you
just
have?
gonna do my two of my songs. One of them is called Meant to Be Yours, and another one is called 28. So I'll be doing these two songs.
Wonderful. My girlfriend is a big fan, but I don't think she's watching because she's on
Oh.
another session. She's like, I will watch it later. She never comes. She never comes online, but she was actually wanting to come, but then she's like, nee, no, I have another session, but I'll watch the recording. Sure.
That's nice.
So I'll get to the questions. So let me just do a quick introduction because I've already done an introduction. So we have Teenasai today. They're a TED speaker as well as a singer, songwriter, and producer, and they're doing it full time. You've been doing it for like 6, 7 years now, right? Because I remember listening to your first song, 2015, was it? 16.
Well, original music wise, it's been like 2, 3 years.
Okay,
Uh, and I wouldn't say I've been doing it full time for 5, 6 years, but I think like I kind of started venturing out into doing it professionally that much time ago. Yeah.
right. All the best with that. So, when you started out as a musician and a queer person, where were the few places that you did find support and comfort?
I think like when I started out, I was still very closeted. Like I was not out, and it was a very gradual kind of process of coming out. And I would say by the time I started playing gigs and stuff, I was out to like a few people in my like friend circle, and then I found the queer community in Bangalore as well. So the spaces I think that were the best to perform in were events made and curated by these like queer community groups. And right after that, I would say were intimate gigs and events like house
Right.
concerts and things like that, because I feel like um it's since the space is smaller, it gives you a lot of like opportunity to talk and connect with the audience in a much more intimate way. So I would say before I was able to like go up on like a larger stage and talk about my experiences, this was a very nice kind of um, positive space.
Space which sort of validates your feelings and sort of where you can truly be yourself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, this question actually came up in while I was watching one of your videos and reading the comments, where somebody was like, "Oh, you don't need inclusive spaces as such. You don't need to have special places. If you have talent, any place works for you. It's the talent." So I was kind of like, that's not how it works. If you like, I mean, I'd want you to talk more about that. Like, why do you say there is a need for inclusive spaces when it, especially when it comes to people pursuing music, and what are the nuances that might impact the creativity in a non-inclusive space?
Well, um, can I ask where did you see this comment?
I think it was on YouTube.
Okay. Well, firstly, like I think it's important to kind of understand and note that when you're like a queer person or a trans person, your existence is resistance. Like you're already like, first of all, people are having debates on whether you're allowed to exist or not. So I feel like it's very important to have an inclusive and safe space, regardless of whatever you say, like talent or caliber or whatever it is. Because at the end of the day, like if you're an artist and you're putting yourself out there, that space needs to hold you. That space needs to be able to kind of, make you feel safe. And I mean, we have enough to worry about. Like, some of my friends, like when they leave their houses, they're like thinking, "Am I going to get attacked today?" Like that's the kind of life they're leading, right?
Right.
Because yeah, because of their identity and because of who they are. So when it comes to, let's say, performing somewhere, I think it's very important to kind of have that space where you can just be yourself and not be worried throughout whether you're gonna get some sort of negativity because of your identity. In terms of creativity, I feel like if you don't have the kind of assurance or the feeling of safety, it can definitely impact you negatively because you're constantly thinking about that, and then I feel like that puts lesser time or effort that you can be giving to your art.
Yeah, I think as like you said, queer people, there is worry about safety, and there is this constant duality that we've learned to live and cope. Right? You are straight presenting in some spaces where it's only those few spaces that we find for ourselves where we can just be ourselves, and if we have to constantly worry about hiding a part of you, it definitely takes a toll on whether it's creativity or mental health or general existence itself. Um, yeah, so yeah, I mean that's kind of why I feel. I mean, ideally, all places I feel are lovely if they are inclusive, but these small pockets of places that people come together, or um, like I would say community groups or social support groups, bring out the truer selves of queer people, where they get to really explore themselves and feel validated and really get their true thing out, whatever it is, whatever kind of creativity it is. So yeah, thank you for that answer. And like, I've heard your TED talks about how you've at a point realized you've broken that binary for yourself, and what are the joys that you felt, if it's in the daily life or on a larger scale, after you've broken that binary for yourself?
Well, I guess the first step was feeling like I didn't need to stick to any sort of traditions or conventions set by society. And this happens, I mean, like if you're a queer person, this happens to you in like different stages also, right? Like when I first realized I was queer, I still didn't understand my gender identity at that point of time. But first, like my first realization was, wait, I don't have to get married to a guy and have children. Like that's something I don't have to do. That's great. Like, and It's just, I think it just kind of shows how messed up society can be by kind of reinforcing these, you know,
Heteronormative
conventions
ideas.
for
Yeah,
people when like they don't have to do those things.
yeah.
And so I feel like in terms of coming out as non-binary, the a huge pressure came off of my head as well. I was watching this stand-up video where a non-binary person was saying that uh they were really bad at being a woman, but they're great at being non-binary. And I feel like I that resonated with me a lot when I came out, because I was like, I suck at this other thing which I'm trying so hard at because somebody said I'm supposed to. And now that I'm able to kind of be just myself, it just feels so much easier. It feels like everyday life is just simple and easy, and just it doesn't feel as like constricted, I guess. That was
Right.
like my main joy of coming out as non-binary.
And also I think there are probably not a lot of rules that, at least in the queer spaces, there are not a lot of rules around how you have to present as non-binary. I think as from cishet people, we still see that, oh, if it's like an AFAB non-binary person, they're supposed to present a certain way, or if it's an AMAB person, they're supposed to present feminine. There are all these rules. I think somewhere, like I've not seen this in a lot of places, but I have heard it from other non-binary folks that there are people even within the community who say, "Oh, you don't look non-binary enough." I I'm not sure how one is supposed to. Do you have any answers? Well, I'm not sure how one is supposed to respond to something like that. I mean, especially when you hear it from within the community,
Yeah.
it's yeah. I mean, these are like queer people are already breaking so many rules, and I think the queer community itself is supposed to offer you that space to break more rules and be yourself. But that kind of restriction from within the community was kind of like alarming when I first heard it. So, as you were figuring out yourself, how do you think, like looking back from when you started and to probably where you are at right now, how do you think this discovering your identity has helped you with your music?
Well, if I had to talk about it, like from when I was writing music, when I was closeted, I think I was like a little extra careful. But to be honest, like if you like even if you hear my music now, like the music that I'm writing now, it's not very explicit, but it's in the way that like I want to reclaim some of my experiences, or
Right.
the experiences of our community, or even the culture that I grew up in. I feel like it's a lot more freeing in terms of how I want to explore that, because when I started writing music, like let's say like 3 4 years ago, at that point of time, my inspiration was also coming from the fact that a lot of us, like of a certain socio-economic class in India, have access to Western media, and that's how we've kind of explored our identities as queer people. And but then that's like that can't be a vacuum though. Like we still grew up in India, so like we still have, we're exposed to all the other languages and
Right.
other cultural elements that do, that I do hold very like close to me. And I feel like I kind of lost touch with that because I was like, while looking at media, I was like, okay, it doesn't look like I have any space here
Hmm.
as a queer person. And then I feel like now that I'm out and I see, like, I feel like in terms of visibility, a lot more has been happening as well all across
Hmm.
the world. And it feels a lot more freer to explore music from that point of view, and also think about incorporating non-Western elements, for example. Yeah.
That was actually one of the questions where somebody was asking, ki, are you looking at doing anything in the regional space in terms of music, regional languages?
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely looking to do um, regional stuff. Like, I think my limitation is that I can speak and understand languages, but I cannot write music
Okay.
in these languages. Like, I feel like when I try, I just don't sound poetic. So, I'm trying to work with other artists who can kind of bridge that gap for me, and like we can work together on creating something.
Lovely.
That's basically what I want to do, but definitely something I always want to explore.
We did have another question also around, are you looking to collaborate? Are you open for collaborations? So I think especially because you're saying writing is not probably something that you're like at the level that you like. We also do a lot of these self criticism, which doesn't always help. So I think collaborations probably. Yeah, I have a couple of friends who write and they're constantly like, no, I don't think I'm good enough. I don't think I'm good enough. So that
Yeah.
that is another layer of, I don't know where to blame that. I don't know if it's the culture or
I mean, it's a lot of things, I feel. But yeah,
yeah.
to answer your question, I am definitely open to collaborations. I feel like a lot can come from, working with another person who has their own set of skills and
Right.
experiences and things like that. And it's always fun and less isolating, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, working in teams is always great, inclusive teams.
Yeah.
So that's all about the questions that I had. And if people who are watching, please feel free to send out any questions you have. So I think we're ready for the performance
Okay.
whenever you're
Yep.
ready.
Yes. Let me know if you can't hear clearly at some point. I don't know if I make it to 28. I had no clue what fate was for me tonight, or the next 5 years, or any other day. I just know that we won't last together at all. So why don't we make the most of it right now? We'll do all the things that they said we shouldn't do. Our hearts in pieces, blood turned into glue. 'Cause all said and done, we don't have anything to lose. 'Cause I don't know if I'll make it to 28. But I know how much I want you right Baby, please try to forgive me when I go, 'cause I can't hold you anymore. Baby, baby, please try to forgive me. Baby, please try to forgive me. 'Cause I don't know if I'll make it to 28. Thank you. I realized I forgot to talk about the song before I started.
Now you can talk.
So this song is called 28, and it's about kind of living in the moment. And well, technically, it's about not knowing when you're going to die. But if I had to position it in a in a more positive way, it's about kind of, taking being mindful and kind of staying in the moment. Um, the next song I'm gonna play is a song that I wrote when I first in like when I initially started seeing my partner. It's a song called "Meant to Be Yours." It's personally one of my favorite songs from my first EP called Out. And I think I really like it because I was trying out something different and I ended up writing a piece of music in it, which I eventually produced with horns. Like a horn section, I had like a person who came in and played like trumpets and French horns, and it's something that I've never experienced because like I'm usually a loner playing my guitar alone.
Right.
So this was a very interesting thing. So, and eventually for the EP, for the music video, when I wanted to release a song, it was like I think the first few lockdowns, because of the pandemic. And what it ended up doing was, with the help of my partner, I we kind of just gathered all the old footage that I had of people that I really
Right.
missed because I hadn't seen them in a really long time, and we made like a lyric video out of it, and it was a lot of fun, editing that project as well. So, you know.
Nice. I do like the cat compilation that you did also.
Uh, thank you, thank you.
Please go on.
Baby, I thought that I was fine when I fell in love with your eyes. Maybe I thought that I could keep this secret from you. I never thought that I had a chance when a girl like you was with another boy, and I thought that I could keep the secret from you. I finally found a place in your heart. I finally saw what I meant to be yours. You're the only thing that matters, other than the things I wanna share with you. And I too many things for only you, nobody else but you. And I thought that I could keep the secret from Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
I
you so
just
much.
realized this is my girlfriend's favorite too, so she'll be happy with me.
Oh, that's so sweet.
It just feels like I'm doing this live just for my girlfriend. So, thank you so much for taking time and doing this. I do see in comments a couple of people who are like, oh, collaborate with me. So I would just request people to probably DM them and see how you can collaborate. That's going to be a lot of fun. I also wanted to ask what was the what was what's the thing about your handle Grape Box Get Up? What was the story? What's the story behind that?
Oh, it's not very deep, very honestly. Well, okay, so for people who didn't like who need some context, my previous artist name was Grape Guitar Box, and it was my Instagram username once upon a time. Like when I first joined Instagram, like many years ago,
Right,
I didn't want to put my name on it. Like basically, I
right,
wasn't sure if I wanted to be known, and I just
right,
put like three random things that I liked at that point of time. And then when I started uploading music on SoundCloud, I kept the same username, and then I
right,
just kept it, and then it just became my artist name. That's
right,
the story. But I decided to change it because I feel like I wasn't really resonating with it. Like, I mean,
right,
it's a very old name, like it just didn't mean
right.
anything, and I felt like I wanted to shift from that and kind of, use my own name. So yeah. And by the way, like if anyone wants to collaborate with me, please DM me. And I'm sorry if I take a long time to reply to you, but I will try my best to get back to you within a week.
Any final words that you would like to say?
um, Honestly, like thank you so much for having me. It was really fun to do this, and yeah, I mean, I don't think I did see a few comments along the way, and I just want to say thank you to everyone who's been watching, who will watch, and say hi to your girlfriend.
Yeah, will do. Vidisha, I saw Vidisha commented Beach Way, and then somebody called Anna,
Oh yeah, that's my Anna's my
Anna
friend.
Clicks.
Hi Anna, love you
Okay.
too.
They're the ones who wanted to collaborate, so you should probably
Oh,
talk to her. Talk to them.
I'm sure they can text me. Uh, yeah,
So thank you so much for doing this, and congratulations and all the best with everything in future. We'll
thank
try
you.
and do this again at some point later.
Yes, will do. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Take care.